Okay, we have new analyses of MH-370, the missing flight, to go over, and it's really compelling stuff. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, here we go. The orbs are trying to find an equilibrium orbiting around the airliner. It's similar to a planet capturing an asteroid. It will take a few rotations until the orbit is stable enough. Maybe creating a wormhole requires this type of stabilization. All right, let's see if we can see what they're saying. Are those guys trying to create some sort of stable wormhole or something? And there's more information about that coming up in just a minute. This is really interesting. And I think some of the most compelling evidence yet that this may actually be a truly anomalous event and possibly genuine footage. So let's go over that in just a moment. There you go. They're speeding up, possibly creating a wormhole or a portal. For what purpose? Why that plane? Is it because there were some high-tech people on board? They were involved in some technology that was of interest to the beings? I don't know. This one person says, the spiraling movement after the entrance is identical to the way our planets orbit the sun traveling around the galaxy. Okay, all right. But here is the really, really interesting stuff, right? Here is a video analysis of the MH-370 footage. I've stabilized everything so that it's much easier to see and scrub around. I've included both the FLIR footage, and some are saying it's been debunked, and some are saying it hasn't been debunked. There's a lot of controversy around the FLIR footage, but let's go on. I've included both the FLIR footage and the satellite footage as a reference, flipped horizontally to make it easier to compare the relative motion. Okay, let's see if we can see anything from this stabilized footage. Yeah, I mean, those orbs are definitely seeming to move in more or less identical ways. Okay, now the orbit that those orbs are describing is the important part. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. And that is actually why I'm making this video. As you'll see the motion of those orbs. Okay, so we got the motion, right? So here we go. And I think we are right there. No. Okay, yeah. Ashton doesn't need any more convincing, but thanks to Drew 1404, we know the orbs pattern was making an almost perfect sphere around the plane. Let's see. So what is the information on that? Here we go. Here is the movement of the orbs, and this is why I'm making this video today. Somebody has actually tracked the motion of those orbs, and they are describing an almost perfect sphere around this plane. Someone on Reddit traced over the flight path the orbs go and have discovered they completed a full sphere around the plane before it disappears. Were they creating a portal? Did Sagan call it correct way back when? Interesting that the orbs keep shape right up to the moment of the vortex. If CGI, I'd expect to retain orb shape or just be removed from the composite completely. Composite. And this is a really interesting segment from an old Coast to Coast episode. And let's just listen to. It's over 4 minutes. It's a lot of technical stuff and physics stuff, but I'll just play a minute of it. They're just they're describing how waves. And three objects rotating around an object to create waves to implode around the object for the electromagnetic field was in the context of making large objects disappear. But perhaps this is how it's done for portals too.
Ask a question. I've got one. What do you mean by turning a wave in on itself? Technically, how do you accomplish that?
It's very simple. Every form of electrical, magnetic, or any electrical source is polarized, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. You simply depolarize it, and you just basically turn it inside out.
Well, 60 cycle current is not polarized.
Well, this is not the field that they're using, though.
Okay.
When you're talking electromagnetics, you have to create a large enough charge. Now, in the Philadelphia experiment years ago, this is basically what they were attempting to pull off.
All right, Marshall, did that make sense to you?
Yeah, he's in the right ballpark. Yeah, I'm with him.
All right.
Because what they essentially had was at least three fields, okay, that were rotating, and they were feeding into each other. They were electromagnetic fields feeding into each other, and they were rotating in different angles, okay? And that's that's been part of the story, yeah.
That's right, and that's what we call turning it into itself.
Right.
We turn the wave into itself.
All right, now I understand.
The three fields are needed to turn the wave in on itself to potentially create a portal or displace an object in time and space. I'm not going to pretend to understand that, but I can repeat the words back to you guys, and hopefully some of you may have a better understanding or a better grounding in all this physics stuff, and maybe some of you can explain it to me in very simple terms. But so were these three objects creating a field to do exactly what they're describing in this Philadelphia experiment type thing? Now, I'm really on the fence about the Philadelphia experiment. I'm leaning toward that being a bunch of nothing. There is a lot of evidence and a lot of credible people who have looked into it, who have come away with the understanding that it was largely a hoax or a fiction. But, my mind is open, and if new information comes out that is very compelling, I'm very happy to look at it. But I tend to think the Philadelphia experiment was probably not as crazy as we would all like it to be. It's a fun story, but I'm not convinced that it's true. But this gentleman seems to think that it is true, and he is analyzing the science behind the Philadelphia experiment. And so this is what he has come up with, and it seems to be applicable to missing flight MH-370 as well. And it could very well describe what those three objects were doing and why, as this Redditor has shown, they were creating this perfect sphere around this plane to get it to go somewhere. Why this plane? Is it because of the people on board? These people involved in this high tech stuff? I don't know. For some other potential reason, is this a real event at all? Is this all a hoax? I don't know. I really don't know. My mind is definitely open on this one. There was the debris recovered. Now, in the comments to my last video, a lot of you were pointing out that the debris that was recovered has never actually been confirmed as belonging to missing flight MH-370. And, there's various scientific explanations as to why that debris doesn't line up with what should have been flight MH370. So there is compelling reason to think that is not from MH370. I don't know, guys. I don't know. So, because that's, to me, the most compelling argument for this being a hoax is that, there was debris recovered. But if that did not belong to this flight, then I guess everything is still on the table. I don't know, guys. There's definitely some compelling research that is being done on Reddit and Twitter. And, my hats are off to all these guys doing this excellent analysis of the available information and trying to understand it and relay it to the rest of us. I really don't know, guys. I part of me hates to cover this story because I, think it's disrespectful to the families. But at the same time, getting to the truth of what happened is certainly not disrespectful. And if it helps us understand what did happen to these people, maybe we can get some answers. Maybe that would actually be beneficial to the families. And maybe it would be helpful to them to think of their loved ones in some far off magical place having, adventures in some other realm. I don't know. I don't know. But certainly truth, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And we need to get some answers on this, whether it's a hoax or whether this is a genuine anomalous event. We all deserve truth on this, most especially the families involved. So I hope the research continues. I hope some answers are forthcoming. We really need people who have actual contact with the phenomenon to reach out to their contacts or use their own abilities, psychic abilities, remote viewing abilities, to try to make a connection with this event and see what there is to see. And if any of you guys know some remote viewing teams that have remote viewed this, because I really value team viewing more than I do individual viewing. There's some wonderful individual remote viewers, but if you can get a group of remote viewers all blind viewing the same target, and they're all seeing the same thing or slices of the same thing, that to me is a lot more credible than simply one person doing it, because nobody is 100%. Even the best remote viewers are not 100%. So although some of them can get above 90%, it's just amazing what some of these guys can do. But if you can get 5 or 6 remote viewers, each capable of getting 90% or better, 90% or better accuracy, and they're all seeing the same thing, that's going to carry a lot more weight for me. So if any of you guys know of something like that has been done, please let me know, because I'm very curious, and I think that, we need some answers on this, guys. And I think that the analysis that we can do from the available footage is only going to get us so far. Even if we determine that this plane was taken through a portal to somewhere, we're not going to know where. But maybe if we could establish contact with the phenomenon, we could actually find out. So, that's all I got for this story for the moment. But like I said, there's a lot of people on this doing research right now. And hopefully there will be some future updates with even potentially some answers forthcoming. So, and if you see that before I do, please let me know. Until then, guys, please hit like, please subscribe, share in social media. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. And there's plenty of other videos to check out on the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.